What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's Paige Cheyenne. If you are new here, just stopping by, don't go too soon, okay? Press the subscribe button and continue to take this journey with me. If you are coming back, thank you so much for the love and support. We are a growing channel here, so just keep watching the content. Turn on your post notification bell so you know exactly when I post and you can see these styles. So today we are doing a traditional middle part sewing. Her hair is extremely thick, so right now I am just doing the braid down, which in my other videos you guys were like, where's the braid down? The other one you were like, where's the sewing? So this is the service right here, the braid down and the sewing. Again, y'all know I got my crazy fingers going on, okay? So don't talk about my fingers. So we're gonna go ahead, just do this simple braid down, connecting each braid to the next. Once we meet in the middle, we will start on the opposite side. It is minimal leave out, and she has some leave out on her edges as well. So I did not use a net simply because she needs access to her scalp, and her hair is thick enough where it can handle the thread. So there's no net here either. So I will be popping in and out just to give you guys some pointers and some tips and tricks. But other than that, definitely enjoy the video. Comment, like, subscribe to my channel, y'all. And yeah. This is always the flattest foundation for me. You can choose to do the beehive. That's another option. I personally feel like the beehive, it takes me longer because my braids are smaller. Speaking of sizes of braids, her hair is thicker, so you definitely want your braids to not be too small, but also they cannot be super thick or super big. Simply because you will get lumps and bumps and you don't want that, especially when connecting that braid. So just be mindful of how thick your client's hair is, and how thick you can go with the braid. So this size is just about right. So this is the last braid that I'll do because it is meeting in the middle. You want your braids to meet in the middle because you want it to be even on both sides when you have that tail piece coming. So after this, I'll start on the next side and then we'll sew in. So I'm starting on the opposite side and I'm leaving out her edges there so you can see where the clip is. Those are her edges. I really take my time. Well, I always take my time, but I really take my time around the edges just to ensure that nothing is pulling from my leave out, because when you sew, you don't want anything extra to pull their hair, causing any damage or anything like that. So really make sure that your parts are good. Really make sure that your hair is separated and just continue down your braids. Another thing you can do to make sure that your leave out is completely out the way is just put a rubber band, separate it with the rubber band, and then once you're done your foundation or once you're done your sewing, go ahead and pop the rubber bands off. I just clip them out the way. Depending on how their hair is flowing or whatever the case may be, I may do the rubber band, but that's also an option for you.
Ryan Little.
going to slow this part down a little bit. Initially, I was going to start a new braid here, but then I was like, well, let me just take it all the way to her neck area, simply because I still want it to be as super flat as I can get it. If I would have just started the new braid, I think it would have been a little bit bulky right there. So stylists, when you are making your partings, just be mindful of that, right? You can always take it out and start over, but this would be the flattest and you want it to be flat. So this is our last braid. With our last braid, we're going to connect both the left side and the right side so we can get one tail piece together. So I always put a hair strengthening oil on my client's scalp before I sew down. This is Maelle's Rosemary Mint hair strengthening oil. I really like it. That mint really penetrates through, so they can really feel it on their scalp and tingling through. Right now we are going to go ahead and sew down that tail piece and get that out the way. I also put a rubber band on my tail piece, so when the client is taking out the hair, it's easy for them to identify where that's at. I also provide takedown services. My clients know if you don't feel comfortable taking it out, just let me do it, because I don't want you cutting your hair. It's not even worth it, okay? Just make an appointment, let me take it down. I'll give you a nice wash, deep condition, press you out, and let your hair breathe. It just makes things a lot easier. So now we are sewing. It's time to sew the bundles, okay? This is our first bundle. I always double weft my bundles. So what that means is I'll take my full bundle, I'll split it in two, basically flip it, and then I'll start sewing down. I want to make sure I get all three bundles in her head, and this basically helps with that. So the very first piece that I sew down, I sew about 5 times at that first piece, and then I go ahead and continue. Yes, I am going through the weft with my first one. My anchor, I guess you can call this an anchor. So I am going through the weft, and then you'll see me use my flip method throughout the sewing process. I want to slow the video down a little bit so you can see how I actually sew. Once I take my needle through the weft, and not all of them I'm taking it through the weft. Sometimes I'm going under the weft, I'm knotting, and then I'm pulling through. So right here you'll see that I'm taking it under the weft, knotting twice, pull through. I do the knotting maybe like every other thread. I don't do it every single time. Like that one you saw I didn't do. This one I'll do, and I'll just continue. So find your rhythm. But the knotting really helps keep the tracks intact, especially as their braids start to grow. Your hair is guaranteed to grow. Your braids are guaranteed to get loose, and that's normal. But their tracks, my client's tracks, ain't going nowhere, okay? They are not going anywhere. So yes, thread through, throw your needle over, like maybe every other time, throw the knot in there. Whenever you're ending your needle, start your new one at exactly that spot. You don't want to leave any gaps. You want to make sure you continue your kind of rhythm that you had going on. So I tried to get a good angle of me doing the flip method. I apologize, it's not the best, but you'll see that I am flipping the hair or flipping the tracks to a higher section of the braid. I do sew multiple times on that flip to make sure that it's super duper flat, just because it's thicker hair right there, right? It's more weft you have right there. So make sure that the flip part is flattened and then sew down. Another thing, do not sew it right on the tracks that you had before. Give it its space to allow it to sew down. When you are double wefting your bundles, it's more bundles, so you can give a space in between your tracks when you're sewing. You don't want it to be bulky, so do not sew right on top of the previous track. Here's a closer view, y'all, on how I'm sewing here. So you can see that I'm taking it under the thread, double knotting and pulling through. Take it under the thread, double knotting and pulling through. I do not knot, I just take it, throw it over, pull it through, which is okay, and then continue. This is also the second bundle, which is also double weft. So you can see that it's flipped. I still have enough room to get a lot of hair. We're working our way to the top, but this is also double weft. So you want to start this exactly where you ended your last bundle set. Continue to sew down. My last bundle I do single, so do not double weft your last bundle. You want it to be super flat. And then I'll see you guys when I'm at the top so I can show you how I do the last anchor sew. So we've made it to the top, y'all. We made it to the top. So I'm going to take my single bundle. I'm going to start right at the top of her braid, her very first braid. I'm going to sew my very first one a couple times, maybe 3 to 4 times. And then I am going to knot every single one of this thread as I'm going along. I want to keep it close to her leave out, but still on the braid, ensuring that it's not a lot of space in between. Another thing is, you see there's about less than an inch of braid left. Leave that space. I always leave a little bit of space between those last 2 wefts bundles, because I don't want it to be bulky, so I want it to be super flat right there, so that's okay. But you'll see that I am knotting every single one here. That anchor braid is not going to go anywhere.
Ryan Little.
So here's what that final install looks like. Okay, nice and flat to the top of your leave out. There's not a lot of space in between your braids and your leave out. And now it's time for pressing. So let's press her out. I am going in with some hair serum, putting on the hair. This hair is freshly washed, so it's going to have a lot of body. It's going to have a lot of movement to it. And we're going to go ahead and press her out real good. For the bundles, I use my bigger nano titanium flat iron. For her leave out though, I'll use my smaller inch to ensure that I'm getting close to her root but not burning my client. Do not burn your clients, y'all, okay? But make sure you have a good outcome. So you see here that I'm separating her leave out, her edges, going in and flat ironing them. And I'll do the same thing on the exact opposite side. So I already flat ironed the weave here. I'm just showing you guys me doing her leave out. So to do their leave out, take a little pull to their hair, like really stretch their scalp, and then go into the flat iron because you want to make sure you get all of the hair. When you flat iron, do not touch their skin. So when you stretch their scalp out, you're going to stretch their skin out, but don't touch their skin, okay? But this definitely ensures that you get all of the hair right at their root area. So I've already put the hair serum on her natural hair. We're gonna go in, take very small sections and complete her leave out. Then give a good blend, and then the style is complete. So here's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe. This video was long, y'all. Do y'all like the longer videos or no? Do I gotta edit some more? Because let me tell you, there was a lot of editing. Leave a comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed. This service is complete, middle part, traditional sewing. And I'll see you guys in the next one.